Okay, let's come into mountain pose. So feet together, stand up really tall. Make sure your knees are over your ankles, your hips are over your knees. Slightly tuck your tailbone in, slightly tuck your chin in, so you're standing up really tall. You want to feel like there's a string being pulled to the top of your head. So we're aligning our spine. You can rock your weight forward and back, left and right. You want to evenly distribute the weight in your feet. So maybe sometimes you stand around with one weight in one leg more than the other. So we're evenly distributing it in the feet, pressing down on the feet, inside edge of the feet, outside edges of the feet, really just activating your feet. We're always wearing shoes. This is super important. We're not only grounding our feet into the mat, we're grounding that first chakra, waking up the feet and the legs. First chakra is located at the base of the spine. So stand up really tall. This is mountain pose. This pose activates the first chakra. It grounds us into our legs, into our bodies, gets us out of our head and makes us stand up really tall, really straight so that the energy can flow through the spine. So to stand up really tall here, this is also important because we're always on our phone, our shoulders are getting hunched over like this. So really roll your shoulders back and down, tuck that chin in, feel what it feels like to align your spine. Okay, so let's do some hip rolls. So feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, hands on your hips, and then we're gonna come forward. We'll do 3 to the left. So come over to the left, to the back, to the right, down, over to the left, to the back, to the right, down. So we're warming up our spine. Over to the left, to the back, to the right, and down. And then we'll switch sides. So 3 to the right. Start to activate your breath. Just take some deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Come back to center. Come back to mountain pose, feet together. So we're going to talk about breathing. So that's the most important part of the yoga, is activating your yogic breath. So you can put one hand on your belly if you'd like. You're going to inhale, push your belly out, and exhale, push your belly in. So let's try that again. Inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, push your belly in. So go ahead and practice that a couple times, because this is the most important part of the yoga. This is activating our rest and digest nervous system. This is activating our vagus nerve. It's a nerve that runs all the way from the top of your head all the way down to your digestive system. And when your vagus nerve is inflamed and overactive, then you're always feeling like you're in flight or fight. You know, that anxious feeling, that on edge feeling, not being able to relax, not being able to sleep. Maybe your vagus nerve has been activated because of trauma, or maybe it is just inflamed just from the lifestyle that we live today. Everyone is stressed out. Everyone thinks that this is normal amounts of stress, but we're going through a lot of stress. So illnesses can activate your vagus nerve. So by breathing this way, while we push the belly in and push the belly out, that activates the vagus nerve. And so it activates the rest and digest. So it calms the vagus nerve down. And so we want to be breathing like that throughout the practice. So that way we can get into rest and digest and tell our bodies it's okay to relax. So from here, let's come into a forward fold. So inhale, reach up really tall, and then exhale, coming forward, bending at the hips. So you can grab behind the calves or the ankles, or just let your hands fall forward. You just want to take some deep breaths here. Send your breath to any tight spaces. And then slowly roll to the top, come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet together, stand up really tall. Okay, so from here, let's come to the front of our mat. We're gonna do some sun salutations. So we're gonna come to the front of our mat. We're gonna bring our hands to our heart and we're gonna protect the low back. We're gonna come into a back bend. We're gonna protect the low back by lifting from the rib cage up at the top. So bring your hands to your heart and then we're gonna inhale and then reach up, exhale, and just stay here for a second. Just if you have to come back down and see what that feels like to lift through the rib cage, you can do that a couple times. So inhale, lift up and really stretch through the rib cage here. Going into a gentle back bend, looking up. And then we're gonna exhale, come forward, bending at the hips. Just take a couple breaths here. And then let's bring the right foot back into a high lunge. So you can stay here or you can come into a low lunge. It's up to you. I'm actually going to stay in the low lunge and then we're going to bring our arms up. So inhale. So if you're in the high lunge, come into the low lunge and bring your arms up. You can do this in the high lunge if you want. It's up to you. We're going to stay here for a couple breaths though. So take some deep breaths here. Relax your shoulders if they're up by your ears, just let them float down. Feel the stretch in the right hip flexor. And bring your arms down. And then we're going to bring that left foot back into plank. So feet together. Keep your butt low. Spread your fingertips as far apart as you can, feet together. Make sure you're breathing. Rock your weight into, make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. You can rock your weight forward a little bit into your hands. So that way you take some of the weight out of your wrists by rocking your weight forward, and then keep your elbows by your sides. Come into chaturanga, so come halfway down and then come all the way down. And then from here, let's come into Sphinx pose. So elbows under the shoulders. Inhale, look up. Take some deep breaths here. Gently looking up. Really opening that heart chakra, opening up through the chest. Bring your shoulder blades together onto your back so you can get the opening in your heart chakra. And while we're here, let's stretch our jaw. So just open your mouth as wide as you can, stick your tongue out. And then relax. And then let's push back into downward dog. So feet hip width apart, hands hip width apart. Take some deep breaths here. Cuddle your feet left and right if that feels good. So we're actually lengthening the spine here, even though it feels like we're just stretching the back of the legs. We're really creating a long spine. We're lengthening the spine. So we're driving the heels down towards the mat. We're driving the tailbone up towards the sky, and that's lengthening our spine. So take some deep breaths and breathe into your back here. You can shake your head yes or no if that feels good. Again, pedal your feet left and right. You can experiment walking your feet in a little bit, walking your feet out, whichever feels best. You just want to feel the stretch here. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And then look forward, bring the right foot through into a low lunge. And then from here, we're going to bring our arms up. Take a couple breaths here. Just relax your shoulders, let them float down. If they're up by your ears, just relax them. Keep your knee out towards your pinky toe here. You don't want your knee caving in. And then bring your arms down and then bring that left foot forward. And then slowly roll to the top. Your head's going to come up last. Go as slow as you can. One vertebra at a time. And come back to mountain pose, feet together. Center yourself. Okay, so from here, we're going to do some neck rolls. So bring your chin to your chest. We'll do 3 to the left. Just take your time. Then come back to center when you're finished. Let's do 3 on the other side. Bring your chin to your chest. So 3 to the right. Then come back to center. Let's do some shoulder rolls. So let's do 5 to the front. Make sure you're still breathing. And then 5 to the back. And shake that out if you need to. Okay, let's do our sun salutation on the other side. So bring your hands to your heart. We're going to protect our low back by lifting through the rib cage when we come into our back bend. So inhale, reach back. Exhale, take a couple breaths here. Really lift through the rib cage. And then let's come forward, bending at the hips. Really take some deep breaths here. Let your head go, let your neck go, let your jaw go. Let's inhale once through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Let something go. And then we're going to come into a low lunge. So bring the left foot back into a low lunge. We're going to turn this into a twist. So you're going to inhale the right arm up and really twist through that right side. And then bring your arm down. And then we're going to bring the right foot back into plank, feet together, and fingertips as far apart as you can. And then rock your weight to the front of your hands, taking some of the weight out of the wrists. Make sure your shoulders stay over your wrists. And then keep the elbows by your sides, chaturanga, come halfway down. Come all the way down, and then from here, let's come into upward dog. So elbows stay by your sides. And we're going to inhale, come up. And then exhale, come down. So let's try that again. Let's see if we can come up a little bit further. That's fine if you can't. Let's just do it a second time. So your elbows stay by your sides, and then you're going to inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. Then let's come into Sphinx again, elbows under the shoulders. Inhale, gently look up. Bring your shoulder blades together onto your back here, just feeling the expansion across your chest, using your eyes to activate the posture, gently looking up. And slowly come down. And then let's push back into downward dog. So feet hip width apart, hands hip width apart. Drive your heels down towards the mat and drive your tailbone up towards the sky. Pedal your feet left and right if that feels good. Shake your head yes and no. Really take some deep breaths here. And then look forward, bring that left foot through into a low lunge. And this time we are going to twist on the left side. So inhale, bring your arm up, twist to the left. And then bring that left arm down and then bring the right foot forward and then slowly roll to the top. Take your time. Your head comes up last. Come back to mountain pose. Okay, so let's come into tree pose, Trikonasana. So bring your hands to your heart, stand up really tall. You can have your foot here on the ground, or you can bring it up a little bit further, or you can have it down here. And this is a balancing posture, so maybe put your foot down for a second. We're gonna find a point in front of us to help us balance. That's our dristi. So you're gonna use that point to help you balance. You're just gonna stare at that point the whole time. So bring your foot up if you're using it as a kickstand or a little bit higher, and then inhale. So you can stay here, exhale, or you can bring your arms up over your head. It's up to you. Just keep continuing to look at that point to help you balance. And then bring your arms down, bring your left foot down, shake that out if you need to. Let's do that on the other side. So bring your hands to your heart, find that point in front of you to help you balance your dristi. And then bring your foot up, inhale, exhale. So you can stay here, or you can bring your hands up over your head. If you've been doing this for a while, definitely challenge you to put your foot up a little bit higher. And then bring your arms down, bring your foot down, shake that out if you need to. Okay, let's come into ragdoll pose. Let's come to the front of our mat and then come into ragdoll. Inhale, reach up really tall. Exhale, come down onto your heels and then come forward and grab your elbows. Our feet were supposed to be hip width apart, so move them hip width apart. And just let your head go, let your neck go. Take some deep breaths here. So see with every breath,
You can get your torso a little bit closer to your thighs. So inhale, relax deeper into the pose. See, with every exhale, if you can get a little bit deeper. And then release your hands and walk your feet back. And then let's come onto all fours and then push back into child's pose. So your knees are either together or hip width apart. And take some deep breaths here. And then let's come onto all fours. And then let's come into a seated position and bring your feet out in front of you. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana. So flex your feet, inhale, reach up really tall, and then exhale, come forward. Take some deep breaths here. And then gently walk your hands up to a really straight spine. And then we are going to come into our twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana, and bring the right foot over the left. And bring your hand behind you. And then we're going to bring the elbow to the knee. And we're going to inhale. And then we're going to exhale, twist to the right. So look as far to the right as you can. So you're activating the twist with your eyes. You want to keep your hand active. You don't want it to fall down like that. Keeping your hand active, keeping your foot active and flexed. I don't want it down like that. Sitting up really tall, just taking some deep breaths. We're squeezing all of your organs. We're giving them a really good rinse. This is really detoxifying. And then look forward, let's release that. Let's do that on the other side. So bring the right foot over the left knee and then bring your left hand behind you and bring your elbow to your knee, sit up really tall, inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. So look as far to the left as you can to activate the twist with your eyes. And then come back to center, release your hands, release your feet. And then let's come into cobbler pose. So sit up really tall, bring your feet together. And then inhale. Exhale, come forward. Using the elbows to, you can press into the inner thighs if you need a little bit more. And then sit up really tall. And let's bring the left foot out. We'll bring the right foot in. And let's come into our extended side stretch. So inhale, reach up really tall. And then exhale, come over to the left. Sure, you're still taking your yogic breaths. Inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, push the belly in. This is the most important part. Come back to center, big circle with the arms. Let's come into head to knee pose. Inhale, reach up really tall, and then face that left knee, that left leg, and then come forward towards the left knee. Inhale, come back to center, big circle with the arms. Let's do that on the other side. So left foot comes in, right foot comes out. And then you always want to sit up really tall. You want to create lots of space in the spine, lots of length in the spine. Inhale, reach up really tall. We're creating length in the spine. Exhale, come over to the right. And then inhale, come back up, really big circle with the arms. Make sure you don't skip that part. We're also stretching the arms. Let's do head to knee pose. Inhale, reach up really tall, creating length in the spine. And now face that right knee and come forward. Inhale, come back to center. Big circle with the arms. And then let's bring our feet out. Let's come back onto our backs so we can come into bridge pose. So from here, bring your feet onto the mat, and then your palms are also on the mat. And then we're going to lift our hips up. So inhale, lift up. You can stay here, or you can clasp your hands to lift up higher. And then release your hands and come down one vertebra at a time. And then bring your knees into your chest. Take some deep breaths here, rock left and right if that feels good. And then come back to center with the right foot. We're going to do rotate our right ankle 3 times to the right. And then 3 times to the left. And then the left ankle 3 times to the right. And 3 times to the left. And then bring your feet up. We're going to flex our feet, and you can grab behind your thighs or your calves and bring your knees towards your chest, towards your face. You just want to feel the stretch in the back of your thighs. Make sure you're still taking those yogic breaths. Okay, let's come into an inversion. So we're going to bring our hands on our low back. So lift up and then bring your hands to your back and point your toes. Take some deep breaths here. And then we're going to slowly bring our feet down into plow. So if this is as far as you can come down, you can stay here, that's totally fine. Or you can come down as far as you can, just make sure you're still breathing. And then if your feet come all the way down to the mat, you can release your hands and place them on the mat if you'd like, or you can keep them on your low back, the middle of your back, wherever you're at. And then bring your hands back to your back, bring your right leg up, bring your left leg up, coming back into our inversion. And then coming down one vertebra at a time, running your hands down your butt, going all the way down, and bring your knees into your chest again. Just take some deep breaths here. And then let's give our massage, our spine a little massage by rolling back and forth. So just take some rolls. And then from here, let's bring our feet to the mat, and we're going to come into eye of the needle. So bring your right ankle over your left knee, grab behind your left knee, and feel the stretch in your right hip flexor. Send your breath to that area if it's really tight. And then release that right, release your hands, release your foot, bring your knees into your chest, rock left and right, give your organs a little massage, and then bring your feet to the mat. We'll do that on the other side. So right ankle over, left ankle over right knee, and then grab the back of your knee and bring your knee in towards your chest. So you're gonna feel the stretch in the left hip flexor. This is a really good pose for people who sit a lot. They sit at a desk all day, just sitting in general, because these thigh muscles, they get tight. It could lead to back pain. That's what, like if your SI joint gets inflamed, it's where your hip meets your pelvis. And so this gets weakened. It gets weak from sitting all the time. So this is really good for people who sit a lot, which is everybody in America. Make sure you're still taking deep breaths. And then release your hands, bring your knees into your chest. Rock left and right. And then bring your feet back down. Let's come into a twist. Arms come to a T and bring your knees to the right. Your head's going to come over to the left. And bring your head back to the center. Bring your knees to the top. And let's switch sides. So bring your knees over to the other side. Bring your head over to the opposite side. Just take some deep breaths here. And bring your head back to the center. Your knees to the center. And then let's come into Shavasana. So let your feet fall to each side, palms face the ceiling. Take up as much space on your mat here as you'd like. You can place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and then go ahead and take 5 yogic breaths on your own. Inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, push your belly in. And just let your breath fall back into its natural rhythm. Come back into Shavasana, let your palms face forward. Just start to let your brow smooth over. Just
Just let your forehead relax. And then start to let your eyes relax. Just feel the little muscles at the corners of your eyes. Just let them smooth over. Imagine a slight smile at the corner of your eyes. Let your jaw relax. Let your tongue fall back into the root of your mouth. And here we're going to let our shoulders relax. Let's see if we can do this from the inside out. Going inside your shoulders, inside your neck. Just feel the tension moving from ice to water, from water to gas. Letting go of all the tension in your shoulders. Moving down your arms, just focusing on your hands. See if you can feel the tingling, pulsing sensation of the life that's in your hands right now. Feeling your hands from the inside out. Start to get curious about the life that's right here, right now. And then take a moment and focus on your heart. Just see what's there. You're angry or frustrated or sad. Maybe you're numb. So without covering anything over, just add a smile. Just let your belly relax. Just let your breath fall back into its natural rhythm. Add a smile across your navel. Just let your hips relax. Imagine a smile from hip to hip. Feel the length and the volume of your legs as they take up space on your mat. And see if you can feel each part of your body as a whole right now. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bringing some life back into your limbs. Bring your arm up over your head and roll over onto your side, just taking a moment. And then come up into a seated position. Eyes closed, bring your hands to your heart. And then we'll end with spirit to spirit and healing streams of grace. So acknowledge your own spirit. So focus on the center of your chest and pick a color. If you don't see one, just make one up. You're acknowledging your spirit. Acknowledge your healing guides, your ancestors, your guardian angels. And then acknowledge the higher power. And then we'll ask that healing streams of grace come in, and you just fill in the blank, whatever you want healed. You can say it out loud to make it more powerful. So I ask that healing streams of grace come in and heal my knee. And it looks like pink streams of light coming over us. And you just thank the healing streams of grace. Thank you. And thank you for coming to my class. Namaste.